Welcome to Advanced Vedic Mathematics course. Today in present lesson 16, we shall be knowing more about Hypercube 4. Its symbolic form is H4 and its symbol is the full description in terms of symbol of Hypercube 4 is there is solid boundary and it is of 8 components and its center is transcendental, that is 5 space is playing the role of origin of 4 space. It is the fully expressed symbol of Hypercube 4. There are 4 features. First feature is it is called swastik. It in fact is the printout of 4-dimensional frame of 4 dimensions within a square as quadruple quarter squares. Means 2 space is playing the role of dimension, or we can say the dimension 4 is 2. The second feature is solids. A cube, a subcube, a setup of 8 such cubes. These together constitute a solid boundary of 8 components, and number wise it can be taken as a 3, means 2 as a 2 space playing the role of dimension, 3 space playing the role of a boundary. Then this domain part, it is a domain fold and it as such is number 4, or that 4 space content is manifesting as domain. And then fourth feature is that its origin is transcendental, that is 5 space is playing the role of origin, 4 space. Number is 5, 5 space playing the role of origin. See this body, that is 4 space, body has Hypercube 4. Within 4 space is a 4 folds which permits expression as quadruple numbers. This is a plane or a 2 space. It is a solid or 3 space. It is 4 space, and here is 5 space. So it is 3 space, 4 space, and 5 space. It's taken as that Hypercube 4 is a body of a 4 space. It has 4 folds. First is a spatial dimension. Next is solid boundary. It is creative domain. And here is a transcendental origin. This feature or this expression for Hypercube 4 as 2, 3, 4, and 5 is in fact a translation into the numbers, and their summation value is 14. Let us visit the formulation Sharir, that is body, and its TC value is 14. So Sharir, a body, a 4 space body, is of 4 folds 2, 3, 4, and 5. Once we are parallel with these features of Hypercube 4, then we shall have a fresh visit. That is number 2, that is 2 space, that is a spatial dimension, and being a 4 space, it has 4 spatial dimensions. So we are having 4 spatial dimensions. These together are taken as the dimensional frame of 4 space. Second fold is number 3. It is 3 space. It is a solid boundary, and these are 8 components, and these together make the solid boundary of 8 components. Third is number 4. It is a 4 space. It is 4 space content, that is D4, manifesting as domain. Then this feature makes the 4 space body as 4 space content lump in the role of a domain. Next is number 5. It is 5 space, and it is playing the role of an origin. In fact, 5 space as origin, as a point origin, as a point 5 space content is a transcendental seal of 4 space domain. Let us sit comfortably and let us be parallel with these features of the quadruple folds of Hypercube 4. Once our mind transcends and sequentially flows parallel with the sequential placement and sequential roles of these four folds of Hypercube 4, then we shall be having comprehension of the four-space body. And comprehension of four-space body would mean the comprehension of Hypercube 4 itself, particularly its domain, which is a four-space content lump, and it is manifesting as a domain. One shall have a pause here and have a fresh visit to this state of this body as it is having a seal, a transcendental seal at its origin seat. It is a point of five space. It is a point body of five space. Symbolically, it has expression like this. It is a symbol for five space content and all other features connected with the five space. So it all will depend subject to the reference. But here, when we will make this expression like this, it though is having for multiple properties attached with it. However, here when we are at the origin, we can take it a point, and it is this point which will be a five space point, and it in a way is going to be sealed. So this is designated as a transcendental seal at origin seat. This feature is one of the prominent features, one of the basic features whose characteristics, values, and other importance is to be imbibed fully. Let us revisit. We are having Hypercube 4 domain. This domain is having a transcendental seal, and this in a way is a four space content, and it is manifesting and is having a role of a domain with transcendental seal. Once this transcendental seal melts, it is called explosion. The technical term is visfort. Therefore, the next phase and stage of comprehension about distinct features of Hypercube 4 is about its transcendental origin, five spaces a origin, and the phenomenon of explosion. And this phenomenon of explosion as visfort, and this term visfort deserves to be translated into numbers, and it will give rise to number 29. Let us sit comfortably and let us permit our mind to glimpse the format, features, values, and all other connected aspects of number 29. It is the TC value of Brahma, Creator the Supreme, the presiding deity of a four space. And this 29 is 29 versions of Hypercube 29. There are versions of Hypercube 14. Hypercube 14 is of 29 versions. So these 29 versions of Hypercube 14 are the 29 representative regular bodies of 1 to 29 geometries. And number 29 is in fact parallel with the total factors of 1 to 16. This goes parallel with Vedic Ganita Sutras, and it goes parallel with Vedic Ganita Upsutras. With it, we shall be parallel with the happening at the origin of Hypercube 4. The origin of Hypercube 4 is Hypercube 5, and Hypercube 5 is of a solid order. 5 space has 5 solid dimensions leading to value 15. Hypercube 14 itself is of values 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. This summation value is 14. This together with value 15 makes it 29. And Hypercube 14 is Hypercube 4, while 15 is equal to Hypercube 4 but of its half unit. So this is again is Hypercube 4. It is this feature or space is with melting of this seat comes to be H4 plus small h4. And we know 29, we know it is Brahma and it is the creator, and these are the sutras. And this also is going to be that within four space, when we are having Hypercube 5, when there is an explosion, then we are having Hypercube 13. We are having this 12-edged cube acquiring the 13th edge, and value 13 is a chit, consciousness. Sadhakas fulfilled with intensity efforts to be parallel with these features of Hypercube 4 shall sit comfortably and permit the mind to be parallel with these features. And these features as such make us conscious as that at the center of the cube is a seat, creative speed with four spaces and origin, whose dimensional frame is 2 raised to the power 416. And this center as creative's seal, when melts, it creates a creative cavity, and within this cavity, the static state cube acquires a dynamic state With it, it manifests 13th edge. Now, it is this way that the creation of cavity and the subsequent happening is sequentially taking us to 16 and 13, two different packages of values, together 29, parallel with 1 to 16 as numbers and 13 factors in addition to this value emerging. This makes sutras and this makes upsutras. The melting of this scene is as a consequence of the explosion at the origin of four space. It is this melting of the transcendental seat which will lead to its self-referral base, that is six space as the base. See now, six space is having 13 geometries. These 13 geometries emergence at the base and with melting of transcendental seat, four space domain acquiring value 13, six space having 13 geometries, cube is acquiring 13th edge. So we are having at triple folds for this happening, and these together as 39 lead us to 39 as the TCV value of Maheshwar, Shiva, five space manifesting a format within four space. See, there are a very large number of features simultaneously coming into play. So we have to concentrate as to when explosion takes place, when there happens visfort, that is when happens the melting of the transcendental seat, and as a consequence, the five space, which was as a point body, is giving place to a transcendental cavity, and with it, the dimensional frame of this body splits, segregates, and gets separated. The five space as a body with its sequential 1, 3, and 5 linear solid entering within a cavity and having a halt at self-referral base, which is of a creative order, and it leading to value 20. And the visfort itself is going to be V special support, and sport is 20, and here is 9. All these things with the melting get segregated. Then the role of six space comes into play, and it is here where chapter 4 of Gita is the enlightenment about Gyan, Vigyan, Gyan, Karam, Sannyas Yoga. And in fact, it is here from where the Vedic mathematics, science, and technology discipline initiates, and the Lord Krishna makes it specific at the outset as that it is this Sankhya Yoga of Gita Adhyay 2 and Karma Yoga of Adhyay 3, which is a complete knowledge, and it is this knowledge which was imparted by Lord Krishna to Surya, and we have to learn, we have to imbibe this technology which will make for us Vedic mathematics, science, and technology discipline. Sadhakas sit comfortably and permit the transcending mind to be parallel with this introductory exposure of the different features of Hypercube 4. One shall start making one's own TCB dictionary. One shall start compiling one's own Sthapatya referencer, and we shall be from next lesson entering Vedic mathematics, science, and technology of a four space as is preserved in chapter 4 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Thank you very much.